feeling it today?
Yeah, a little bit. All right, here they go.
It's okay. Talk about your game.
Well, before the game, Coach Burns, assistant coach, told me, he felt as, he thought I was going to have an impact in today's game because, they were going to deny Lucky and Carvel. So they basically, weren't really going to respect me. So I had to, make them pay for that, which that's what I tried to do today.
When you hit your first couple shots, did you know you're going to have a game then?
Yeah, that's, I could kind of tell that today, even throughout like a shoot around, I felt good, I was confident. So it's just seeing my first couple shots going, he gave me even more confidence today.
Carvel and Lucky, I know you guys have stressed the importance of everyone chipping in, but you guys have kind of carried the offensive burden a little bit the last few weeks. How big is Chuck's performance today in terms of sort of picking up where you guys were maybe struggling or they were focusing extra on you guys?
It was huge. I had conversations with Chuck before. You got to just find his rhythm and continue to help us score. That's his job when he comes in the game. Give us a great spark on defense as well as offense. And with his ability to shoot from three and drive on smaller defenders or people that don't respect him as much, they got to take advantage of all them opportunities because it's as spaced as the floor is going to be with people denying Carvel or not. You got to take care of his advantages and just continue to execute and score.
And before during the season here, I know both Carvel and Lucky have told us that for this team do well the way that they are really good. Need all 8 guys to pitch in hand, not just you two. Was today kind of proof of that, like at this pool, because you two combined for 16, except guys like Chuck and some of the other players seem to have picked up these 2 good team plays. They kind of proved that they kind of need all 8 to just pitch and make all the contributions they can.
Yeah, we always need all 8 every game. It's just that we have a great scorer in Carvel, and carry the load as much. But they really keyed in on us, and guys like Ant and Chuck and even Hawk and Dave, and especially Aaron, as much hard work as he put in for us, getting rebounds and defending and doing the little things that counts. That's the thing that helps us win. And Kayvon, his pace of offense and his scrappiness of continue to grind out things, and that's what we need each and every game. And they showed it. And it was a tremendous point guard today. Taking care of the pressure. Carvel stepped up. Made the big shots when he had to. And Chuck just continued to score throughout the game and just took what the defense gave.
Carvel, you had 9 of your 11 points in the second half. What changed for you with everybody going in the second?
I guess the ball started liking me a little more, I guess. Not much. I shoot the same way every time. It was just one of those nights, and I was fortunate that some of those fall in. One of them, fadeaway, was a lucky roll. I think God looked out for me on that one, so.
Number 22 for Mount St. Mary's had 27 points tonight. Seems like the majority of them were wide open in the corner. How do you explain? It seemed like the whole team was shooting wide open shots.
They space the floor very well. They're one of the teams that they take advantage of our zone with the areas that they put the shooters. They put them in what Tua likes to call the gray area. It's kind of hard for our guards in the zone and our forwards to match up with them. And they move the ball very well. They have 5 shooters, that can shoot the ball very well. So when they move the ball like that, and, when they're in certain areas, it's hard for us to take certain things away. But they were open. I feel like we did a good job. One of our emphasis was contesting a lot of their 3-point shots, as many as we could, and they didn't shoot very well from the 3, and that's how they win games. So.
It's hard to be patient as a scorer when they're playing tough like that.
It's frustrating when I still feel like I got a good looks regardless of how they was playing me. I still could get to where I wanted to. I missed a lot of layups, a lot of wide open shots that I normally don't miss. So I wouldn't say it's not hard to be patient. It's just a little frustrating. I'm not used to missing like that. It doesn't happen too often. So but we got other guys to step up and help, like Chuck. I didn't even notice he had 19, so I just looked at the paper. So it's all right.
And they're the highest scoring team in your all's conference, and you'll help them about 15 points below their season average. Would you say, Jill said this is probably one of your better defensive performances, I guess, for both this season and I guess maybe over these past like 1 or 2 months here?
Emphasis was take away the three, and they score less. They're not really a inside kind of team. They do have drivers, but their whole emphasis, they believe, is top 10 in the country in making threes. And take away threes, and they score less points, and that's what we did. Obviously they had a lot of wide open shots, and they also missed a lot of wide open shots. So we were very reluctant just to continue to challenge every shot, and it worked out for the best of us.
And you guys got 40 points in the paint, which seems like a lot. I don't know if this is to this, right?
Well, no, they have a great defensive team with their pressure and stuff. They try to run you off the three-point line. So one of our offensive factors for the game was that when we get in the lane to finish, we didn't do a great job the first game. So that was one of the emphasis this game, get in there and finish.
And the emotions seem to run a little bit higher in this game, some noticeable more frustration than we've seen before, but you obviously kept your composure, hit a couple of big, breaking the press late. Is it just the way they play that kind of gets a little bit frustrating and always up into you, or is it just kind of the history you guys have with them?
It's kind of half and half. They sent us home last year, so every time we play them, it's still a little chip on our shoulder. Words were said, but we stayed emotionally disciplined, and with their pressure and it kind of gets to you a little bit, but you just got to stay poised and stay together.
How tempting is it, especially late when you're really pressing, how tempting is it to try and get out and run and score quickly instead of maybe trying to hold on to the ball after you guys break the press and maybe squeeze the ball and try to let the time run out? It seems like you guys kind of try to do a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's very tempting because as you see those openings, but with time to score, Coach 2 wants us to slow it down, run the clock a little bit. But we actually took some of those options tonight, and it worked out in the best for us.
Chuck, you're really starting to be a little bit more aggressive besides just shooting the ball, looking to drive the ball a little bit more. Is that just something that, now you're becoming more comfortable, and especially, just with the shortened roster, you're just asserting yourself a little bit more?
Yes, that's true, definitely what you said. But also, I don't just consider myself like a spot-up shooter. I think I have other elements in my game that I can hurt the defenses on, make them pay. Shooting is just something I do the best, but I can put the ball on the floor and hurt teams in other ways.
I guess like what can a game like this do for your confidence and for your overall game just going forward here?
Just try to stay consistent. That's one of the biggest things with me. Just stay consistent with my preparation and things of that nature. It was good to have a game like this, but just got to maintain it because it's getting crunch time, coming. So I just got to try to help the guys out over here because they carry a lot of the burden. So I got to pick them up some days like tonight.
Any questions for these guys?
You guys have had a couple of close games since last time Connecticut State. And after that loss with Lucky and Carmel, you guys didn't quite have that killer instinct in that game. You guys feel like you're developing that instinct a little bit for these last 4 games?
I feel like we've always had it. That game was something, we didn't really respect our opponents too much and kind of bit us in the behind. But, we had it. It's just been a little more enforced since then. That was one of those losses that's going to hurt. Regardless of what happens the rest of the season, that loss is going to hurt us for a while. So, we do our best to try to not let that happen again.
Just to go off that, we had numerous talks with our teammates, just trying to emphasize that, we did lose one, we let one go away. But at the same time, we understand we are one of the best teams in this conference, and, we can't take no one lightly, as well as we can't just, go out there and just think we're just going to win just because, we're Robert Morris. We just got to go out there, sustain the lead, keep applying pressure, and, just feed off our defense. And when we get stops and we can run our score, that's when we have our best games. And, we just got to continue to do that. We got to finish out the regular season strong. We definitely have 4 more tough opponents that we have to, see, especially in FDU who's playing really well, and we got to go to Wagner. So, it's just, we got to continue to step on people's throat. So we can understand that when we get to the tournament, we can take care of business.
And I've got to ask you too, where'd you get those shoes, Carvo?
I got them when we were out in New York.
Okay.
I've been trying to get these for a while now. I finally got them, so my baby's
They call it the freaky baby.
First game with them, trying to break them in a little bit?
No, I played at the LIU game. That was the first game I played in. Second game.
Hey, Jonathan.
Freaking babies.
Really proud of our guys' effort today. I thought they did an outstanding job of staying together, defending the three-point line, and kind of working through, some offensive struggles. Obviously, some credit goes to Mountain for the way they defend and the chaos they create. But when we needed to find some baskets, when we needed to execute, guys stepped up and made big plays.
What did you think of Chuck coming off the bench and scoring a new career high 19 points?
Chuck was awesome. They do a great job of trying to take away Carvel and Lucky, and so you need a third guy to be able to step up. And to his credit, he stepped up. He was aggressive. He was locked in. And a lot of the credit I think goes to his preparation. He was, when I got to shoot around this morning, he was already out there sweating with, Robbie Pridgeon, getting shots, working on things that he was going to do in the game tonight. And then when he got in the game, he did those things that he worked on. And so I was really proud of his effort. And he was, equally as good defensively as he was offensively. And we'd love to see him do that on a consistent basis. I think it would just make us that much more difficult for people to take away those other guys.
Do you subscribe to the theory that as important as maybe some of your key scorers are, like Lucky and Carvel, like a good team leads and is going to have a game where a role player steps up and kind of leads the way from time to time?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chuck is a guy who's very, very capable of making shots. He had 18 at Oakland. He had 12 early in the year. And he can get going and get hot in a second. He had an 8-0 run by himself at Bryant. In that game at Bryant. And so, we're an equal opportunity offense. We really, if you're open, we talk about what's a good shot. If you're open, you're ready, you shoot it at a high percentage, go ahead and shoot it. And so, Chuck's a guy who has, the ability to, get to the rim, not only make threes, but, also get to the rim and finish. And so, you never know who's going to be needed to step up. And if you would have said we're going to win the game by 8 and your 3 double-digit scores are going to be Hawk, Myers, and Chuck, I'm not sure you guys would have believed that. But, I think we have confidence in our guys that, if we execute and play together, we have a lot of guys that can make shots.
And just kind of building off that, it's a pretty promising spot for your team that Carvel and Lucky go 5-5 for 28 games. You also know a pretty good team by 8 points.
Well, yeah, and some of that is because we defended well. Obviously, Mountain's team came in averaging 80 plus, and we defended well. And I think they missed some good looks, but I think a lot of the looks were contested. And we know how dangerous they are offensively, and at any point in time they can get going. Fortunately, the clock kind of ran out before they could really get it going because they had those 3 straight threes there late. And so, our defense was on high alert all afternoon, and I think really stepped up when it needed to.
It seemed like early in the game they were able to get you guys to play a much faster tempo than maybe you wanted to. It seemed towards the end of the first half you were able to kind of get the game more to a pace that you normally play. Was that a point of emphasis over the first half at all?
Yeah, obviously, they can entice you into getting up and down the floor and taking quick shots, and sometimes your eyes light up because all of a sudden you see all this space. But they hustle, they scramble. They get you kind of playing faster than you're used to. It can get you in trouble. And so, we wanted to be smart about the way that we broke. We wanted to break if we had opportunity, but we didn't want to start getting crazy. And I felt like early in the game we got some good opportunities in transition or secondary break, and then we did start to get a little bit out of control. We started to kind of feel like we could make a play every time we touched it. We weren't running offense. We weren't moving the ball very well. And in the second half, I think some of our tempo was because they were just making it difficult for us to execute offense. But, again, we got some things at the end of the game against their pressure and on the break. And so you got to just be smart about when you do it and have poise while you're doing it.
Were you happy with the pace at the end, or did it get a little too frenetic? Would you guys like to see your guys maybe squeeze the ball more?
It's tough. You know, I think all my assistants were yelling, take timeouts. But I thought that, you know, we might be able to get some stuff out of it. Obviously, you go in and you miss those layups, you know, now it's a whole different game, and, you know, maybe we're sitting here with a different outcome. But, you know, those were some of the best ways that we were able to score and kind of continue to keep the lead by attacking their pressure and going and getting layups. You know, even Dave's finished to put us up 8. As he's running by me, I'm just yelling, be smart. You know, just be smart. You know, just try and make a good decision for our team. And that might not be you taking it all the way to the rim if they do a good job defending you. But I think most of our points in the second half were in some kind of broken play or some secondary or transition type situation. So I didn't want to, you know, completely take that away. I wanted to continue to try and stay aggressive.
And they got off to the quick start. Then you went on an 11-0 run, and they didn't score for 6 minutes. What did they not do, or what did you guys do defensively that caused that?
We didn't have very good defensive urgency on the first 3 or 4 possessions. We scored early. You know, I think it was 8-8. And it was like both teams put zero effort into scoring those first 8 points either way. And then I think our defensive details picked up a little bit. We got a little bit more urgent. And it led to us being able to kind of put a streak of stops together.
And in the last 4 games, now your defense against the 3 is outstanding. Is that maybe because it's zone is getting better than it was, or is it still good?
I think guys are starting to get more comfortable playing it a little bit. It's hard as a coach to watch all those shots go up and just hope that they're not going to go in at times. But, you know, a lot of them are contested shots. Some of them are, you know, deeper maybe than guys traditionally would shoot them from. Mount's obviously a unique situation because, you know, they shoot 25 threes a game regardless of what defense you play. But, you know, I think, you know, just, you know, like Robbie Pridgeon sometimes would play in practice, and Robbie, you know, was a pretty good scorer a long time ago. And he says sometimes it's really hard for him to find a comfortable step-in shot because there is activity, there's hands, guys are kind of trading you off, you know, and so you don't always have that rhythm that you would necessarily have. So, you know, I hope it's a tribute to our, you know, I hope it's our defense doing a good job, and I hope it continues.
Your inside guys in the paint outscored them 40-16. Is that expected or unexpected or welcomed, I guess?
Well, they do a great job of taking away your 3-point shooting. You know, the first game we took 8. This game we took 12. You know, and didn't, you know, 0 for 3 in the second half. I mean, they deny you, they pressure you, they make you drive it, and you know, you have to go in and you have to finish those plays. You know, in the first game, in the first half, Ant and Kayvon missed a handful of layups. We missed a bunch of chippies in the first half. In the second half, we settled down and made those. And today, I think we did a good job of finishing when we had opportunity around the rim, because if you don't do that, you're in real big trouble.
Coach, it did seem on the defensive end when Mount was getting some open looks and some open three-pointers, it's coming from that corner 3. Was there anything that you felt like they did spacing-wise to run guys off the ball and leave that corner 3 open? Yeah,
they put 4 shooters, 1 in each corner, and then 2 up high, spaced off the 3-point line. And so you just have really long runs at times. You know, it's part of their personnel. You know, they have 5 guys on their roster that, you know, on our scouting report are high alert 3-point shooters. You know, there's other teams in the NEC that have 1, maybe 2. And so they really stretch it, and it makes it difficult. And so, you know, kind of the way, the angles they play and some of the spacing they have, it makes some of the bumps difficult. And, you know, it allows that short corner, or the corner pass, and that forward's got to be, you know, really, really active and alert in order to contest those shots.
Comment on how sound the glass.
Yeah, I thought we did an excellent job on the glass. You know, the defensive glass as well as the offensive glass. You know, again, when they're going to shoot, you know, so many threes, you know, long shots, long rebounds. You know, I thought we did a great job of rebounding outside of our area. I thought, you know, Stephen Hawkins and Aaron Tate did a great job getting some really strong rebounds in the paint, and everybody got on the glass. And you have to do that, because if you give them another opportunity, they're so good when the defense is scrambling and breaking down at hurting you. You're going to get in trouble if they start getting more of their rebounds and have more opportunities to score.
Since the CCSU game, do you feel like you guys have been more poised and more into it down the stretch and trying to put teams away?
At times. At times. I think we've been more aggressive. We've stayed more aggressive, which I think is key. And, we'll see if that can continue going forward, because hopefully we're in situations where we have some leads and we have to figure out how to play with them. There were a couple plays today where, certain guys didn't have some poise late game, but I think overall, guys handled the situations pretty well.
Speaking of poise, it seemed like Kayvon was a little bit more rattled and frustrated than he normally is. But you stayed with them even in the 2-point guard lineups and had the ball in his hands. Obviously you want to win the game, but is there any forward thinking in that? Knowing that he's going to have to be an important part, down the road, and just kind of let him work through that situation.
Well, we don't really have any other options. So, what are we going to do? Just not play anybody? And he's a guy that has earned the right to be on the floor. He has. And I'd like to give myself credit and say it's forward thinking, but, Ant needs a blow at times. Kayvon's got to be in there, and we trust Kayvon to make plays. He had 5 assists in the game today. He does sometimes get sped up, but he's a freshman, and he's handling more pressure than he's ever seen, and, guys running at him in different situations. And so, it's definitely something that he can learn from. But I thought in the second half, he didn't make any of the layups that he took, but kind of the way he created those layups allowed us offensive rebound opportunities. I think we scored like 3 of the 4 kind of breaks that he was on, that he kind of just got something up on the rim, and now, we were able to get some putbacks and some cheap buckets that way. So, probably not going to get an assist from Dews on those things, but those are important plays, for us being able to figure out ways to score.
Thank you, Coach.